Hey guys, Rhythm here, bringing you my first audio commentary, and today's match is going to be a ZVZ, Jaedong vs Hyva. I think it's played on Chupongryung, but I'm not sure. The English name said New Autumn Wind. Excuse my noobishness, and if anyone wants to just leave a comment correcting me or chastising me like a little kid for getting the map name wrong, whatever, it's cool. And we're gonna see here Jaedong on the right. He is absolutely ferocious, and as far as I know, he's probably one of the best Zerg professional StarCraft I've seen in, ages. And Hyva, of course. Hyva's not bad, but obviously less heard of, less famous. But he does, he invented the new, as a lot of you know, the new Queen build that's coming out. There's, using Ensnare on SK Terran, Medic Marines. It's quite ingenious. Hyva actually invented that in a game against Flash. So, I mean, he brings his own sort of ingenuity to the table. And, I guess here we go. Alright, and we got Jaedong is in white in the bottom left, and Hyva spawning in yellow at the top right. So far, I mean, there's obviously not enough happening to tell what's going on, but one thing about the matchup, of course, is that it seems to me that a lot of ZVZ, of course, since Zerg spawns so quickly, they make units quick, obviously a 12 hatch is pretty much going to be out of the question, and anyone who sees a 12 hatch, anyone who starts a 12 hatch is probably, if they can make it work, I mean, they're going to be way ahead in the macro game. But of course, Zerg versus Zerg, the pressure's on right from the get-go, everything's right to the wire. So I mean, I'm expecting something like a 9 pool, an over pool, maybe even something a little bit cheesier. But ooh, here we got some pictures of, I think that's Jaedong. Oh, happy birthday, Jaedong. I think his birthday is January 4th, is it? Same age as I am, anyways. But there's some pretty imaginative signs. But Jaedong, of course, I heavily favor Jaedong, and it looks like Hyva is going for the extractor trick, or maybe early gas. I can't really tell at this point. I'm guessing it's actually for his extractor, which is weird because he's leaving it up so long. Probably an overpool. And Dance Dance Revolution now. Such a great game. And I do think this is Chupongryung based on one. Well, maybe not. Probably not, actually, because of where Hyva is sending his starting Overlord, and Chupongryung is obviously a 2-player map. And I think that's more fans for Jaedong. Hyva must feel kind of left out that he doesn't have the same kind of support. Obviously, I hope his mother's in the crowd. I would want my mom to be in the crowd if I was a pro gamer. You know, because I do think that it's a viable career option, pro gaming, despite what people's parents think. I don't care. Pro gaming's sweet. And the spawning pool is going down for both players. A little bit later on the gas for Jaedong, excuse me. And Overlord scouting in the right direction for Jaedong. And they just keep showing signs. And happy birthday, Jaedong, and that is an interesting figurine there. And of course, one thing you got to keep in mind about me is I am not a good StarCraft player. I don't know much about the technical aspect of the game. I just barely finished playing through the campaign mode of the original game with my macro. My macro left me with, thousands of minerals in the bank, hour-long matches to finish off the computer opponent, but whatever, It's all in good fun, right? I mean, that's all games are, they're fun. And Ling's out now for Hyva. Have I been casting this wrong? Well, alright, Ling's out now for Hyva. And Jaedong with his lair coming up, and I think in those eggs are going to be Ling's as well. And a second hatchery up for Hyva, interestingly enough. I mean, I think this is pretty standard, but he's gonna sacrifice some time on his Mutalisks in order to get that second hatchery, and that's in a decent scouting position, too, so he can see attacks coming up that ridge. So, I mean, that's a pretty good decision by him, especially if he can resist this early pressure, but I'd say 10 Lings coming up now for Jaedong, but I don't think they're gonna be able to break this concave on Hyva's ramp here. And the Spire is up for Hyva. And, oh, there's some drones just mining around. the layers coming as well. I may have mentioned that already. These Lings are going to try to apply some early pressure, but I think once they get up that ramp, they're going to be thwarted instantly by the amount of Lings in the perfect concave shape by Hyva. And even more Lings joining Hyva's force, so I mean, they're just going to be at a stalemate, kind of like 1918 Trench War, just unable to go in the middle without dying. And the Spire, looking at the Spire for Jaedong again, and second hatchery for Jaedong at his natural expansion. That's pretty non-conservative. I would be, myself, I mean, I'm not skilled or anything, but I would be a little bit worried about having that hatchery in that position because it could be easily overwhelmed. But I guess with the Zerglings in position at the bottom of Hyva's ramp, he's in pretty good shape, and drones coming out now. And interestingly enough, only one went to mine. Another one's, who knows what it's doing. And the second extractor up for Jaedong. It looks like he's just Maynarding those drones. But again, there's this stalemate here, and I think Hyva really would be well off to break through that line of Jaedong's Zerglings here. And he's just, it looks almost like he's just ferrying his overlords away. Here's, again, they're showing the Spire. And I mean, sorry if some of my comments seem inane. It is my first commentary, but I'm hoping you'll enjoy it well enough. And another thing, I'm expecting Mutalisks pretty quick as soon as that Spire comes up, because it looks like Jaedong's saving his larva. And I can't really tell the colors, but it looks, oh, we got Mutas out for Hyva, so those Lings are going to be in huge trouble. And it looks like they got speed upgrades, so I mean, most of them will survive, but I'm guessing that Hyva's going to go on to harass this Overlord, and then next the mineral lines of Jaedong's natural. And this is one reason why we don't often see two-base strategies in Zerg versus Zerg until much farther in the game, 10 minutes in the game sometimes. And a Sunken Colony up, this will do well to protect against his Lings. But as far as the Mutalisks, a Sunken Colony obviously can only attack ground. And here we see, I think this is Hyva's first-person view. And I do like this color switch that you do by pressing Shift-Tab in the game, so you can always see your players are green and the opponent's players are always red. I do enjoy that because it makes my life and the life of my opponent easier. And here we got a large force of Mutas attacking one another, not even microing though. And it looks like, I think Jaedong might be able to hold this off. Of course, he does have the shorter supply line, and those Scourge I think may have landed. But Jaedong showing some pretty impressive micro. But Hyva once again escaping with the Scourge still in pursuit. So I mean, Hyva might want some Scourge of his own, or definitely more Mutalisks in order to keep the pressure going. And it looks like Jaedong has broken off his Scourge, so they're just going to retreat back to the base. And Jaedong looking very somber in that shot. And the Sunken Colony has sustained some damage, so I think a second offensive, while inevitably on the way, might be what it takes to break through that Sunken and enable Hyva's Lings to just harass the drones there, which would be very important because a drone loss in ZVZ is absolutely huge. Drones in ZVZ are probably the most important thing. Obviously, important for the economy here, but a lot of times, early game especially, ZVZ they will not recreate their drone because the loss of the minerals and, more importantly, the larva is just far too much for. And I've seen it in Savior versus Mew, I don't think that's a Zerg player, but Savior versus someone. Savior actually lost a game where he lost 3 drones at the start, and he was just overcome by the ensuing Zerglings. And here we have Hyva and Jaedong losing quite a bit of Mutalisks there to Scourge. But he's actually microing pretty well against these Mutalisks, and I think he's going to be able to just stop this right in the middle. And he does take care of all of Hyva's. And GG coming from Hyva, interestingly enough. Sorry if that call was a little bit unindicative of the way the game was going, but Jaedong here, we're going to see some pretty nice high fives from his Lake Half Oz teammates, and I've always loved those jackets that Lake Half Oz wears. But Jaedong, as we all expected, taking this game away from Hyva, and taking nothing away from Hyva's performance. He had impressive micro throughout the game, and once again, you know, it's Jaedong, so what can you do? It's like some little kid trying to play basketball with Shaquille O'Neal or Michael Jordan from 1996. It's just, you're gonna lose. I mean, what can you say? It's Jaedong. So, hope you enjoyed this commentary. This is Rhythm, signing out. Later.